Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine, and we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal. But we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. The big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. You're losing thousands of soldiers. On both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop. And we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like rebuilding. And we're going to be working very hard. But we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But you...
Is this the first meeting, period, between Trump and Zelensky, or is it the first public meeting? Have they met before at all?
Your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great
first
credit.
term? Okay.
This was supposed to be over very quickly.
Or was it only over phone? I don't know.
And here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself, in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. And we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things, and we appreciate everybody being here. It's somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for invitation. And really, I hope that this first document will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course, the infrastructure or security guarantees. Because for today, I understand what Europe is ready to do, and of course, I want to discuss with you what United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin. And you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save.
Wait, I should know this face. Who is this guy right here? We have our Rubio not looking too good. We got Vance. Oh, Bessent. Is that Scott Bessent? Treasury. Okay, Secretary of Treasury. Gotcha. Okay.
If our country, our values, our freedom, democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later. And of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the
Hegseth right here.
Drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war.
drones production?
We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States. And we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that this crazy Russian, that they stolen 20,000 of children, Ukrainian children. They changed their names, they changed their, their families, relatives.
I think that's one of the. I don't know if there are two cases or just one, but I think that's cited on the case that Ukraine has against Russia for the genocide stuff. Is that abduction of children thing?
Now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back, and really, it's a big dream, task, and goal for me, and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we exchanged, released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images. How it's just can I now?
Yeah,
Have
please.
1 minute. I just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there, and that, so they don't eat, they beat them, and they, so they do a lot of, bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. So these guys, they don't have any rules. You see that 50, 60 kilograms left, and a lot of such things. And I didn't want to show you what the changes with images of children, because I will share with you. And, I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, it's tough stuff.
I wanted very much to give you, and you see.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. We, at the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, this I want
a tough one,
show
Sonny.
you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that ended, right?
Yeah. Of course, we
And
will.
I think we
Why is he talking to him like he's a fucking retarded child?
will. I think we will. And
We have to, of course.
do you have any questions, please?
Mr. President, Mr. President,
Thank you, Mr. President. With the, how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much, because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth.
I hate the way that he how do we do on cyber? Like, we have a strong cyber, and we don't have much. We don't have the raw earth, but we're looking for raw earth. I hate him. I hate everything about him. I do hate everything about him.
We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected. But still, it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do. This puts us in great shape.
It's, I don't know what else to say. I've made the same complaint a lot, that it used to be that you would listen to conservative talk radio, conservative media to try to get like, okay, well, these are our thought leaders, okay, and we have to copy them. But now listening to conservative media and then even listening to the president, it feels like you're listening to a Twitter conservative or less. Like it's just like propaganda, sloganeering, talking points with no actual intelligence or brain power behind anything being said.
This puts us in great shape.
And the long-term security for Ukraine, how is this provided?
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very...
What's raw earth? I think he's referring to... Wait, is it even raw earth, or is it rare earth minerals? I think is what he's referring to. Things like... what is it, like lithium or whatever, or just like the things that exist in low amounts across the planet? I think it's rare earth minerals. I don't know why it's, yeah.
Strong. I've known them for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think, we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day, all they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal, because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000. And they're losing.
Like, the soldiers aren't dying because they want to surrender even faster. Like, if you make a deal that's just them surrendering with no security guarantees, we all understand what security guarantees means, right? Like, Ukraine wants it. Okay, just a real quick thing. When the Soviet Union collapsed in '91, Ukraine was kind of an important part of that Soviet empire for military reasons, but also because they had, I think, most of the Soviet Union's nuclear arsenal. I believe most of it was kept in Ukraine. So after the Soviet Union falls, all of the Soviet satellites declare their independence because nobody likes being controlled by fucking the Russian Empire. Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus each signed these agreements in 1994 where they say, okay, we're going to give Russia back all of their nuclear weapons, but you can't fuck with us or attack us or do anything bad, okay, just because we gave you your nuclear weapons back, okay? These are the three Budapest memorandums that were signed. And Russia was an observer of these. The U.S. was an observer of these. I think like maybe Germany, Ukraine, and France, I think. There were a few other countries, but there was one signed for each. Apparently they had a third of the nuclear weapons, not most of them, but a third of them. So in 94, that memorandum is signed. Obviously, it didn't mean jack shit, but if Ukraine is going to sign any new deal, then what they want is some kind of security guarantee, obviously, which is fair. Typically, when you sign deals that are causing a cease in conflict, especially if you're the losing party, you want some kind of guarantee, like, okay, well, fine, I'll sign this, okay, we're done, but like, I need a promise, like I need a security guarantee from an outside party that I'm not going to get fucked with again. So something like, the war is over, Russia can keep this, Ukraine can keep this, but if Russia attacks again, either the UN or NATO or the United States is going to come in and smack them down, right? That's what Ukraine is looking for. That's what he means when he says a security guarantee, which is fair. Otherwise, why would you, they've had ceasefires before, why would you sign anything and expect Russia not to come and fuck your shit up again? There's no reason for Ukraine to expect that.
1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And, you know, they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it.
But
And we
Mr.
want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to, this is a tremendous amount of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now
I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm having a stroke. I don't understand anything you just said. What does he think security means, or security guarantees or security assurances mean? I don't know what he thinks that means. Nobody has given security assurances to Europe, or I'm sorry, to Ukraine. Europe hasn't either. No, Ukraine has no security assurances at all. What?
Soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it.
But
And we
Mr.
want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to, this is a tremendous amount of money. And what the Biden administration did was...
Also, anytime he brings up Biden, God, it's so weak and pathetic. Like, what? How could you get away with this? Imagine being months into your term, or it's none of this even involves Biden. Why are you even bringing up Biden here at all? Why would you invoke his name? Biden has nothing to do with this anymore. Move on, little bro. What the fuck?
Terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan.
Well, I don't know what he means by that. What is he? There's security on the European loans, but there was no security on the U.S. money. This is retarded. Nothing here is.
They get their money back, and we didn't. And now, at least we're protected because the American taxpayer has to be protected too.
Like,
but
the U.S. gave money in the form of loans as well, I'm pretty sure, right? Like, it wasn't... I think most of the money we gave was in the form of guaranteed loans. Fuck. Breakdown of U.S. spending in Ukraine. Fuck. Wait, Ukraine Oversight. Is this a good website, or is this going to be... Because a lot of the times when we make money available to people, it's not just like giving it to them for free. It's literally in the form of loans. So the U.S. has provided $20 billion as part of the initiative, and it sounds like this is in the form of a loan, right? So I think most of the cash we've given, like the actual like money, I think has been in the form of guaranteed loans, I believe. But okay, not that I would expect Trump to know any facts about literally anything, but
this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country.
Mr. President,
This allows us to do
But
that.
Mr. President,
Will you continue
I'm sorry.
sending military aid?
Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just yes, in the document there is one of the.
what was the question?
Will you continue
I'm sorry.
sending military aid?
Yes,
Oh,
go
okay,
ahead,
okay. We
please.
could send military aid.
If I can just yes, in the document there is one of the very important points. If we speak about business and investment, we never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean the next document, but anyway.
LNG terminals is I think liquefied natural gas. So he's talking about resource extraction.
Here we see in the framework, we see a really goodwill for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe. Yes, and we can use it for LNG. We use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot, Mr. President.
They did.
Really, they did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No.
Why is he repeating this? I can't tell. Stupid, propaganda, malicious, old. He's just forgetting. Like.
No. No.
Don't argue.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
but Mr. President,
Okay.
but Mr.
No.
But they gave much less.
No.
Much less.
No. No.
Don't argue.
No.
Like, in a way, these interactions are funny, but in another way, these interactions are like really sad and fucked up. One thing that I don't like about the internet media of everything now, that everything is like part of kind of like these social media landscapes, is that everything is kind of like for entertainment first, and it's kind of like all funny and jokes or whatever. Like I said, I think that over 50% of the reason why Trump won the election twice, especially the first time, mainly the first time, is because he's just a funny dude. And being funny is an actual life hack for almost any situation in your entire life. If you can make people laugh, you're on top of the world. But the actual substance of this conversation is incredibly dark. This is not funny stuff. Like the U.S. president is just lying about the amount of aid made available to Ukraine, who is suffering because of the United States' reluctance to participate in helping to, I guess, like shore up their offensive, defensive weaknesses and financially. And it's just like a joke. And like, I don't know, man. This is like it's not cool, not good.
Okay.
Okay.
But Mr. President, Mr. President,
Putin and President Zelensky.
Yeah, please.
Mr. President Trump, you have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine as a historical one. And as a president of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
Yeah, I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know I'm only kidding,
He's not.
right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington. But you never know. You never know. I don't compare myself to anybody. I'm here to do a job. We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month,
Yeah.
a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know. But I think we've done a very good job, just generally. If you look at all of the things we've done, and
Zelensky is testing Trump a bit too much here. Zelensky knows he is a crybaby. Thoughts? I feel like you guys, this feels like when you guys like optics troll me, where I'm dealing with conservatives who will sometimes always take the worst faith summary, the worst interpretation of anything you say, be the most insane possible. And then I'll say like one thing, like, this guy's like a fucking retard. And people are like, oh, it's because you called him a retard. That's blah, blah, blah. Like, Trump is unhinged, bro. I don't know what to say. Zelensky's been the president of a country who's been invaded by a world superpower for 2 plus years, and the whole world is just standing by watching, and nothing is happening. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. That was fake news. That's been invaded by a superpower for 10 plus years. And the whole world is standing by watching, and this guy next to you is literally lying about the extent of the aid that he's provided your country. Like, you're just supposed to sit here, as a world leader, and just accept that he's lying about how much he's helped your country, helped your people, for what? And then what if you go back and then you still get nothing? Now you were a sucker in person, and like, it's just, no.
30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president.
And there needs to be some kind of accountability for the things that Trump is wrong on. And the U.S. media has basically rolled over and played dead. Like, the U.S. media will not hold Trump accountable ever. Even the left, for whatever reason, just has nothing, at least in the mainstream. It doesn't seem like it. So if it's only world leaders that can do it, then take advantage of the opportunity to.
We've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president. The first month, there's never been a first month like we've had. And this is one of the very important things. This, to me, is one of the most important things, because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak, and I don't want to have that. You know, think of the parents, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine, think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started and killed
What did Zelensky?
needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Oh, they
Should-
came to our territory.
Should have never started.
Wait. Speaking of making everything a joke, is Zelensky doing Riz voice? Why is he talking like this?
Being killed
I'm just kidding.
needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
I know that people are posting pictures of Rubio, like showing how painful it is for him to sit here. I don't know if this is Rubio's responding to this negatively like that or not, but Rubio is, I'm pretty sure he comes of the era of the neocon. So I cannot imagine internally the anguish that he must be feeling. Because I'm pretty sure Rubio was a pretty hardcore neocon. I feel like he said a lot of, Putin's a dictator, he's a bully, we got to go after these guys. Like, oh my God, I can't imagine listening to this. Jesus. Rubio supports Trump? I mean, of course he will. He's the head of the State Department, right? So of course he's going to, but
Mr. President, President Trump,
Will you
President Trump.
continue sending military aid to Ukraine after the U.S. signs this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're
And the
gonna be
question to
continuing.
President Zelensky, do you feel like the U.S. is on your side, that that President Trump is on your side at this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't. But,
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes. And Putin, the president speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, was really the most important question. Can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin, withdraw these enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land? And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President, or when, he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall.
we've had very, very good talks.
Mr. President.
Very good talks.
Military aid to Ukraine.
President Zelensky just said that there'll be no compromises with Vladimir Putin. I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? And President Zelensky, is there anything that you think that you may be able to offer or bring to the table? For example, elections. Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly.
Have I given an fuck? This is why I hate covering politics right now. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. Do we have a name for this when you speak a lot but you don't say anything of substance ever? Like some people when they speak, it's like, wow, that's a high density of information and concepts and okay, geez. And then there are people, Elon Musk does this a ton, and Trump can only do this. But when they speak, they just say nothing. Can you tell us about your deal with Russia? Oh, we want Russia to make XYZ concessions. We want Ukraine to make XYZ concessions. And this is what we think the arrangement is going to look like going forward. Oh, that's what I just said there was a very simple, very high density statement with lots of valuable information. To Trump, what are you guys going to do? What's the deal like? Any deal you do has to be both sides make sacrifices, and that's nobody knows what it's. They're gonna. Everybody should feel bad a little bit when you make a strong deal, and it's like, what the fuck did you just say? Why did you even answer that question? You're not even saying anything. The fuck?
You're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises. But
like what? How did we ever make fun of Kamala speaking or Biden speaking? Like for any good deal, you got to make compromises. So there have to be compromises, and yeah, he's going to have to compromise. Okay, thanks, Chief, Commander in Chief.
Table, for example, elections. Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all.
Like what did we just say?
Oh, it's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator.
Also, excuse me, you expanded asshole cuck. It's all we can do? No offense, but we're not fucking France, okay? We're not fucking Greece. We're not fucking Tunisia. We're not fucking Sri Lanka. What do you mean that's all we can do? We're the United States of America. There's a whole lot we can do. What do you mean that's all we can do? Why would you talk about your own country like such a fucking cuckold? That's all we can do is hope for the best? What do you mean? We're the United States. What?
People think you're going to have to make.
I wasn't picking out on those countries in particular. Okay, so.
That's all. It's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile, to put it mildly.
A mediator between two parties? I thought that there was no party for Ukraine in Riyadh, though. I thought that Zelensky wasn't invited to those talks in Saudi Arabia. So what are the two parties that we're negotiating between?
They've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many
Oh my
times, we're
God!
talking
The best thing to absorb the bullets is the only thing that can absorb a bullet is a body. Why? God, these.
about it with Pete. Many times, the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great.
Oh, that is true. That's a good word. Bloviating, right?
Bloviate.
That's a good word. Bloviating. Yes.
Land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being and other things that are being shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Will President Putin have to make compromises?
Mr. President, I've got 2 questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice, I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice.
It's just like I don't know why I bother talking about any of this shit. Fuck! I'm so triggered. I'm so doomer. This is not why wars start to stop. You don't stop a war just to save lives. Nobody fights wars just to kill lives. It's such a childish way of looking at conflict. We need to stop this immediately, guys. We gotta save lives. Like how many people died in that on the Normandy on that day? How many soldiers died? Like would Trump have been saying 4 to 10,000, maybe 4 to 15,000 on both sides. Like, would Trump be? And I know I'm pretty sure there are individual days of fighting here that were way worse, especially on the Soviet side. But like, would Trump be the guy saying, "Well, there's going to be a lot of lives lost. There's going to be a lot of bodies absorbing bullets. Like, we can't send our young men to die like this." Like, it's just such a childlike way of viewing conflict.
Question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost.
And then like the whole appeasement thing, like not to draw analogies to Hitler, but we tried this, right? This could lead to a war, so we better just keep giving him territory. Like this could lead to a war, so we better just keep giving stuff over. Like this doesn't work. Nobody comes away from these deals satisfied and they're like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the little bit of appeasement. I'm going to stop now. It doesn't work interpersonally. If you know somebody who's like abusive or evil and you're like, okay, well, I'll just like make concessions to them and then they'll stop. It doesn't work on a corporate level. When you're signing business contracts and stuff, you're never like, okay, I'll just give them a bunch of stuff, you know, and I hope that maybe in the future they'll treat me well. It doesn't work on a country level, right? It's just.
This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost, if we didn't win this election, and by the way, we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing.
You didn't win it by a lot, though. That's not true. You won it electoral college-wise by about 200 to 250,000 votes, and then population-wise, it was it wasn't even a majority of the vote. Was it about 1 to 1.5%?
State, we won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate. And
like no one is talking, why are you bringing this up, little bro? No one gives a fuck about the electoral maps that you jerk off on every single fucking night. Holy shit.
This was one of the things. I said, we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could. Why
is Rubio sitting like that? Usually you're behind closed doors and not on camera. It's really embarrassing on camera. But when all of your principles are leaving your body, it's a very uncomfortable experience sometimes. Your soul is being extracted in small pieces. And usually you would do this in a dark room on your own while you meditate and come to accept how much of a compromised, spineless fuck you are. But he has to do it here on TV in public.
Could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not That would not have been a good situation. What was your second
And
question?
my second question for President Zelensky.
Oh, also, I think I was told this just when I bought my suits, but again, I don't know the rules. I think you're supposed to unbutton your jacket when you sit as well. I don't think you're supposed to with a button, unless there's a reason why for these types of suits. That's not the case, man.
That would not have been a good situation. What was your second
And
question?
my second question for President Zelensky. Do you ever? Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah.
What? No, that's not even. Okay. I don't want to say anything. Fuck. I'm gonna get banned from YouTube.
Yeah, problems.
This is Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband. Yeah. Does Musk own a suit? Has he ever worn a suit in his entire life? Somebody said in chat you were supposed to unbutton the lowest button. Okay. Wait, do you button the lowest button on a conventional suit jacket? I don't know.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting.
I don't
the
have
authority of
such.
this office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this?
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see.
Hold on. Also, I just want you to, okay. It is so fucking hard to joke and be sarcastic and make like quippy remarks in a second language. Okay. It is very, 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 very hard to do that. So I don't know how long he's been practicing English. I saw someone in chat say that prior to the war, he didn't know any English. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can tell obviously he's not like ultra fluent in English such that he can do it like conversationally, very snappy, very easy, but it is so hard to joke or be snappy or witty in a second language. It's incredibly difficult. So Jesus, that was nice.
Something like yours. Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah. Thank you.
President Trump, you said yesterday. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know if Zelensky's mind can survive his life. Keep in mind, this guy was a TV actor, right? What was one of the shows that he did was a school teacher suddenly becomes the president of Ukraine and has to try to like save the country or some bullshit. Like, I think that was like a TV show that he did earlier before he actually became the president of Ukraine, before he actually got into this position. And to go from existing in a country where you are in active combat, where people are trying to airlift you out of the country, like you need to escape, and he's like, I just need more ammunition. Like, we're going to fight Russia, okay, a huge country, from Ukraine, which has had a ton of issues over the past couple of days, right? He has to go through all of this, and then he comes to the United States, and he's got these loser, degenerate, inbred, disgusting, anti-American, treasonous, fucking, dating, crazy, reptilian, lizard, insane, QAnon-believing, probably believes QAnon himself, fucking losers, asking him about his clothing. Like, holy fuck. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. My mind would shatter into a million pieces right here. There's no shot I would survive this interaction. If I was Zelensky, this would be the most danger that he's ever been in, of just completely having...
Thank you.
President Trump, you said yesterday. Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine, yeah, sure. Hopefully I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward to sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, you know, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never.
Like, I hate the journalists. I hate everything. Oh my God, I hate this country so much. Why are you talking about Biden? He's gone, bro. You won the election. He's gone, little bro. Why are you still talking about him? Are you okay?
Happened. This should have never started. But, you know, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly.
Also, hold on, because I see this stated in chat. Is people said that there's Russian media here, but that AP and Reuters weren't even allowed to be here. Is that true?
Quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You know, you fall into the same.
You can't. Why does he say? Why is nobody pushed him on this. This is like negotiating an employment contract without talking about the fucking pay. Like, hold on, bro. I don't want to talk about your pay yet until you're fully hired and you've come in for your first day of work. Then we can discuss pay. No, what do you tell? You can't do. What do you mean? What the fuck? A Russian state media reporter gained entry to the Oval Office for the Trump-Zelensky sit-down. A member of Russia's state-owned news agency gained access to the Oval Office on Friday to cover President Trump's sit-down with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, even as the AP and Reuters were barred from the high-level meeting. It sounds like they snuck in at least, I guess, but... Or that's what Chad is saying.
Trap like everybody else. A million times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy
Yeah, is it?
part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. You know, we have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth so that we can create a lot of great product in the...
Like this, this is such a gangster, disgusting, exploitative approach. Like, what the fuck? Why are you trying to extort? Well, this wouldn't even be extortion. What would you call this? Like a guy's getting fucked up and you go on the street, you find him, you're like, hey, bro, hold on. I know you're getting your ass whipped right now, but if you give me your wallet and I can keep everything inside, I'll try to get the other dude to stop hitting you. It's like, what the fuck? Protection racket? Like, Jesus, bro.
This country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back.
Yeah, because they've already gotten every possible fucking thing they want. And what do you mean go back? They don't have anything they need to go back to. Half of fucking Ukraine is now Russia. Like,
when this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over.
Well,
Question? Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy.
the moral conviction and courage to stem forward. I pointed this out. I think I pointed this out at least once in the past. But Trump does this thing. He does this through. He implements this through all areas of his life. Kind of like Hassan, I guess. If you ask him a tough question, he'll say it. Like, you're very nasty. You don't treat me fair. I can't understand you. What a nasty question. When you ask him a nice question, he rewards you for it. What a wonderful, lovely question. What's your name again? Oh, what a lovely question. What a wonderful, these guys treat me so well. Like, he does it interpersonally. He'll do it as he speaks. Like, these people are horrible. We're going to primary these politicians that are mean to us. We're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. He's very big on the rewarding people that are nice to him and then punishing people who are critical of him. Not even mean to him, just critical of him. Ask him a critical question.
Praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question.
Oh, and One American News is who that reporter's from. These were one of the largest peoples that were pushing, one of the largest news orgs that was pushing that J6, the coup stuff and everything, OAN. It's just a joke, crazy. Who would you even compare them to? I would say they're worse than Breitbart, but I haven't read anything on Breitbart recently, but because I feel like it's like the Daily Wire, and then Breitbart is to the right of the Daily Wire, but they still are trying to like write factual articles, I think, but OAN is just insane. OAN I would put closer to QAnon than I would to like the Daily Wire. That's how fucking out there.
I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, you know, we're very much involved. We got involved.
Newsmax is similar, yeah. Newsmax, OAN, InfoWars are kind of in the same basket, yeah.
It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement, because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas. They were stone cold broke. And then under Biden, they became rich as hell. They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened. And that's a real mess also that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. It's just, I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
Mr. President,
Is it coordinated, organic, or accidental? I don't know how the conservative messaging ecosystem works, but we have observed before that, like, they're so good at being lockstep with each other. The conservative echo chamber is unstoppable. Like, as soon as one person is messaging something, everybody has the exact same message immediately. I don't know how that works. If there's like a WhatsApp or Telegram group that all the big content creators are in, I doubt it's like that, but it is uncanny how crazy effective they are at all echoing the exact same talking points and the exact same message.
Do something to stop the death.
Mr. President,
If I can answer.
President
Yes, if I
Zelensky.
can answer.
Please,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Please.
Ooh.
Please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I have to, I think he's
Yeah?
a great guy, by the way. And I don't know if you two like each other, but you know what? I think
No,
he's dressed, I think he's
why?
dressed
I like
beautifully.
this guy. I don't know
I think
him.
he's dressed beautifully.
So I have more serious things than answer on such
Yes,
questions.
yes, that's
I will
okay.
answer on more serious
That's a good
questions if I can.
Yes.
Yeah. So please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will not never work because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to
No,
me.
you were the president.
I don't know if Trump is aware that Russia has been fighting in Ukraine since 2014. I don't know if Trump even knows that. I don't think Trump knows that, because I'm pretty sure there were agreements that were even signed, I think, while Trump was president. And I don't even know if Trump is aware of anything happening, because Trump probably thinks that the first invasion happened a few years ago when they went in with the military. He has no idea about the Crimea shit and everything.
Well, the president during
never brought to me.
in 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those period he had conversations with our side, and we had Normandy format. You know, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia, and he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees.
Obviously. Like, it's pathetic and so disgusting that Zelensky even has to fucking say that. He's like the only adult in the room. Obviously, a ceasefire doesn't work without security guarantees. It's fucking so stupid. No shit. That's such an it feels stupid to even say that. Like, it's so obvious.
Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough, because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, you know, he knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes? Why?
We will not accept ceasefire. So who's keeping this war going? I would say probably the antagonist in the war, Russia. What?
He's using ballistic. Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security, when we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop.
Yep.
If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents,
Of
strong
course.
contingents from the Europeans,
Yep.
because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States and the main.
Oh, wait. Hold on, wait. Let me hear that. He needs this for Europe as well. Let me hear it.
They need USA backstop. It really will do it. Security, when we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance connection between the United States and the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial. This is important. That's what we want to speak about very much.
Oh, is he implying that like there's a chance that if Europe was to continue to support Ukraine while the United States wasn't, that the US would start like sanctioning Europe or the EU? Is that something that we've spoken about, or?
Much. This is very important. And air defense. So, air defense, really, we have big deficit with all these systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop, and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us. You know, it's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts, I think maybe with your team also, I don't know. But with all the Europeans, in media, officially and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us. And you are right, Mr. President, that's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
Mr. President, under these...
Should Russia pay to rebuild Ukraine?
They have to pay. This is the rule. This is the rule of the war. This is the rule of the war. During all the centuries, all the history, this is the rule of the war. Who began, those pay.
Do you agree,
This
President
is the rule.
Trump?
Putin began this war. He has to pay all money for innovation. He has to pay. Of course, some Russian assets, what we have in Europe, about 300 billion.
I honestly don't think the EU will support Ukraine without U.S. support. If the U.S. does not, it would put West Europe in a fragile state politically and economically. I think that it actually hurts to say this, but they started to realize it with Angela Merkel, although we kind of came back from oblivion with Biden, but now we're back to oblivion. I think Europe is probably starting to think that they need to separate themselves from the United States. If it was 10 years ago, like, would Europe act out of step with U.S. policy? I think that's unconscionable. I don't think that that Europe would do it for a variety of reasons. But now, especially after that unbelievable speech that Vance gave at that security conference, I think that the European countries are probably thinking more like, how do we get away from the United States? They probably don't want to do it because it's painful, but I mean, I guess it's like an addiction, kind of. Like if you're addicted to like alcohol, or if you're addicted to heroin, like the detox is really painful. It's excruciating, but you just can't keep doing it over and over again. And the United States is making it clear, at least under this administration, that we have no desire to work with Europe, or no desire to work with anybody in a positive, not self-serving way. So.
And we can use them. We can use for innovation and buy military support from the United States also. We can do it, but it's not enough. It's not enough.
Trump didn't answer that even, though that lady was asking him to over and over again.
I wanted to know.
Brian, please, wait 1 second.
Oh.
I asked this question that you didn't like because I wanted to know if you want to position yourself in the middle between Russia and Ukraine, or on the Ukraine side.
I'm in the middle. I want to solve this thing. I'm for both. I want to get it solved. And it's wonderful to speak badly about somebody else, but I want to get it solved. If we can solve it, great. If we can't solve it, they're going to have to fight it out, and who knows what's going to happen. But I want to see it get solved.
May I follow up? One more question about U.S. troops in Europe. After Russian invasion of Ukraine, your predecessor sent additional troops to Eastern Europe, including Poland, my country. Are you committed to keeping these troops on the eastern flank of NATO in the future?
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. They, as you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
What about Baltics?
Poland's in a tough neighborhood, you know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics.
Somebody should ask him, do you know what the Baltics are? Do you know which countries those are? Maybe he'll say it.
They got a lot of. It's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're gonna.
I don't know if he knows what those are. Does he? He must, right? Does he?
You know.
What about the Baltics?
The Baltics. They got a lot of. It's a tough neighborhood too, but we're committed. We're going to be very committed, and we're committed to NATO. But NATO has to step up.
Tough neighborhood. I wonder if he thought they said the Balkans. I don't think he has any fucking idea.
And the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize because they are in for...
Equalize, but they've spent more. He's just repeating the same bullshit talking points. I guess when I would debate people, this is what would happen. I'd call them out on shit. They'd be wrong. And then they would just say the same shit after a debate. And Trump is the same, I guess. Okay, based.
Far less than we're in. And they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between.
True.
Why is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful. But we have put in far more than they have. And I think they should equalize.
Mr. President,
Please go ahead.
Ask you about the agreement again today. What changed between the first time that Secretary Bessent gave President Zelensky the agreement and today for the signing?
We made a deal. So
what was the
I'm just
deciding factor?
I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed.
A lot of those minerals.
I didn't think we were going to make a deal, and we ended up making the deal.
Is that
so
her
I think
talking?
we were going to make it. I'm a business person. We made a deal. That's what changed.
A lot of those minerals.
Wait, why do I hate this person? Do I know who this is, or have we seen them like do things before? Or does she just remind me of Crystal Ball? I have no idea. Do we hate this
I
person?
think we were going to make a deal.
Oh, CNN.
And,
Never mind. Sorry. My
we
bad.
ended up making the deal, so that changed.
Mr. President, when and how do you envision a trilateral summit with President Zelensky and Putin?
I don't know,
under
but
these
it's, well, they don't like each other. I can tell you that. Okay. They do not like each other. This is not a love match, and it's unfortunate. That's why you're in this situation. The United States should.
Who is this guy? Is this like Secret Service, or should I know who this is? He's so fucking tall. Okay, everybody has to look over him and and he's gonna lean down. Take a seat, motherfucker.
Not have allowed this to happen. Okay? The United
That's Greg from Succession. Okay.
States, run by a man that didn't know much, I'm going to be very nice, run by an incompetent person.
Oh, we're talking about Biden again. How long for him to stop talking about Biden? How many months in will his last reference to Biden be?
Very incompetent person. Should never have allowed this to happen. I've stopped wars. I've stopped many wars. My people will tell you, I stopped wars that nobody ever heard about. I stopped wars before they ever started. You can look at some of, I could give you a lot of nations that would tell you right now they were probably going to war. I could tell you.
I like how does he ever list Afghanistan as being one that he surrendered? Did he ever talk about Afghanistan? It's crazy because that Doha agreement ended, what was it, 2 decades of war? Does he ever bring it up? Isn't that kind of weird that he never brings up his deal with the Taliban? Isn't that kind of strange? Because that would be the one actual solid example of him like actually ending a conflict with signing that agreement. Crazy, he never brings it up, you know?
Right now there's a nation thinking about going to war on something that nobody in this room has ever even heard about. 2 smaller nations, but big, still big. And I think I've stopped it. But this should have never happened.
About sorry, just a second. About any negotiations. First of all, I want really to tell you, and I think that everybody understands that Ukraine, modern Ukrainians, nobody wants to stop this war. But at the future, any negotiations, it's understandable that 2 sides of the war, not Russia and the United States, because this is not the war between Russia and the United States. This is war of Russia against Ukraine and Ukrainian people. So these 2 sides will be at the anyway will be at the negotiation table. Then of course United States, like the strongest partner of the Ukraine, and of course Europe. I think Europe is very important. I want to speak about it with the president. Yes, Europe is very important for us because we really defend Europe for today. All Europeans really recognize that we are defending line, and they have real life, and our people are dying. That's why they helped us. And also, it's about the NATO. Yes, between, like the president said, you have big, nice ocean. Yes, between us. But if we will not stay, Russia will go further to Baltics and to Poland, by the way. But first to the Baltics. It's understandable for them because they've been in the USSR. You know, they've been one of the republics of the USSR, and Putin wants to bring them back to his empire. It's a fact. And when
so, like, Trump doesn't know any of it. I hate myself.
he will go there, if we will not stay, you will fight. Your American soldiers. It doesn't matter. Do you have ocean?
Wrong. This is where Zelensky's wrong. He assumes that the United States would actually respond to an Article 5 trigger. Ha.
Or not. Your soldiers will fight.
Mr. President, would you be willing to visit Ukraine, maybe Kiev or Odessa, which is going to be at the Riviera of the Black Sea?
Oh, he's going to give the Hassan answer. I'm thinking about going.
It was my question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about Odessa now. Let's not talk about Odessa. I want to talk about making a deal, getting peace. We don't have to talk about Odessa, but a lot of cities have been destroyed. There are a lot of cities that are...
Oh, it's in rubble. Oh, we're now... Whew, thank God we found another dialogue tree to run down. It's been destroyed. It looks like... Will he say that it looks like Gaza line? All these cities are flattened. I don't know how anybody's living there.
Not recognizable. There's not a building standing.
No,
and a lot of
things
have to happen.
You have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to under.
He doesn't know where Odessa is. Odessa's in the west. No. That doesn't matter. Hold on. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Okay, you guys are thinking way too complicatedly about where Odessa is. Trump literally thinks that every single Ukrainian city has been destroyed. In the east, west, south, north, central. He thinks every Ukrainian city is destroyed. That's what Trump is thinking. It's not that some are fucked up. He thinks that everything has been blown up in this country. He's fucking retarded.
The ground schools or online, but we live. Ukraine is fighting and Ukraine lives. This is very important. And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. No, he lost 700,000 people. 700,000 soldiers. He lost everything. Yes. So,
Mr. President, when did you last speak
On the minerals deal.
Mr. President, when did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. Well, that's what I do days ago.
And when did you last speak with President Putin? And
How did Putin have to suffer through the Russia hoax? What?
What did he say that
a couple of days ago?
Has he? Why can't Trump say any negative things about Putin ever? Notice he can't ever say a single negative fucking thing ever about him. Ever. Also, again, the dynamics. When Trump says the Russia hoax, part of what he's referring to here is the actual fucking phone calls that him and his little lackey fuck loser Giuliani had with Zelensky and Zelensky's aides about trying to dig up bullshit about Hunter Biden. That's part of the Russia hoax, by the way.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do. That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do, is make deals.
Like, if he wants to see it end, and he's the invader, then why doesn't he just, like, stop? Am I missing something? Like, why not just stop invading then? Like, look at how easy that would be, you know? He could stop at any point in time, you know?
I'm in the middle of a mess, because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and was not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on its behalf.
What is this, an OAN reporter, or who is this fucking loser? This is our White House press corps now? Is just a bunch of crazy, fashy, far-right fucking losers here to make Trump feel better about himself? Okay.
How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such an important topic?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco. And we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of British or any country's jurisdiction.
Really? Really? That's a significant... We're worried about that in America. We're worried about Britain issuing an arrest warrant for an American memer. Is that really that's a real pressing issue right now in the United States of America at a press conference about the war between Ukraine and Russia? We're worried about memes getting you arrested from the U.S. What, are we going to fucking extradite people to fucking Spain to go to meme court?
And so this is a point the Vice President made at Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one, that what unites us with Europe, as much as anything else, is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
JD? I'd say, look, it's actually a very...
Destiny, genuine question. Why does American free speech matter in our country? We aren't ruled by your constitution? You guys are just... I'm so sorry. Your questions are so dumb. When you say, why does American free speech matter in our country? We aren't ruled by your constitution. No American that brings up free speech has any fucking idea what that means or what our constitution is. Free speech to them is a nebulous, amorphous concept that means they should be able to say whatever they want anywhere in the world with no punishment from anybody ever. And the American concept of it, whatever that is, because they don't even know it, is the best in the world. And if anybody has any different thought whatsoever, then they're evil and horrible and fuck them. Okay, that's it. Okay, there is no real answer to your question. Americans are fucking retarded. The First Amendment people who don't have any idea what free speech means in this country, where the protections even extend to, what it even means, and then the fact that why are you guys locking people up for the example I gave the other day is that there are a country could have more freedom of speech than America, where say you can't sue somebody for anything they say ever, even if that includes like a violent threat, or even if that includes a like a defamatory statement or tort or whatever, right? But Americans will just say well, obviously that's not freedom of speech. Like, according to who, motherfucker? What do you mean? Like, Americans have their concept, or some, these 1A dipshits have their concept of what freedom of speech is. And if you have any law that isn't the exact same as every American law, then you're anti-free speech. J.D. Vance engaged in the same, I don't want to say high school level of understanding, grade school level of understanding, MAGA level of understanding, lower than all of those, of freedom of speech is when you have a ruler law that isn't the exact same as what I think America the ruler law is. Like, that's what their concept of freedom of speech is. It's fucking stupid. It's childish.
One of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
JD? I'd say, look, it's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch.
Like, what are they even referring to here? Can somebody give me the basis for this conspiracy that Ukraine is trying to pressure freedom of speech in the United States of America? What is even the basis for this conspiracy? Because I like it. We all just we're assuming this is true, and now we're responding yeah, we've had to scold Zelensky because he's really coming down on freedom of speech in the United States of America. You know, he's really. They're just talking about Britain. Okay. Is Ukraine going after freedom of speech in Britain as well, or?
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday. And I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really...
Starmer and Vance had a clash here.
And we don't, and that's absolutely...
course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time. Well, no, I mean, certainly we wouldn't want to reach across US citizens, and we don't, and that's absolutely right. But in relation to free speech in the UK, I'm very proud of our history there.
Oh, okay, so it's just okay, good.
Really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days.
Well, unless you work for the government and you do anything that Bondi and Bovey don't like, they're going to fucking investigate the fuck out of you. But okay, thank you.
And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies and American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the president's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Okay.
Wow, good one.
Mr. President, oil and gas component to the deal, is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
Oh yeah, or the Associated Press or Reuters who get kicked out of the room as well because they won't acknowledge the Gulf of America. Is the next president going to change it back, or did we ever figure out who's in charge of having the names of things? Like, could the U.S. president say the Pacific Ocean? Sorry, you're thinking about the U.S. Western Ocean, and the U.S. Eastern Ocean is the Atlantic, right? We're just going to call these.
We're looking for that so much. We got a lot. We have more than anybody in the world, by far. So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think we'll see.
On LNG?
This country, and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, oil and gas component to the deal, is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
Is there anything? A little bit. We'll see.
But we're not really looking for that so much. We got a lot.
We got
more
a lot
than
of it.
Anybody in the world.
We got more
by
than
far.
anyone.
So no, we're not talking about it too much, but a little bit. I think it affects also, but for the most part, no.
Thanks. Okay.
And sir, is there any agreement from Ukraine to purchase U.S. LNG as part of the deal, or is that on the table at all?
No.
Some of those.
We don't need that.
Some of those minerals are in the east, Mr. President.
You just mentioned that you'd spoken to Vladimir Putin a couple of days ago. Just to be clear, that's a new call, not the one that you were
I've spoken to him on numerous occasions.
Okay. And how was the latest call? What did you discuss? How did it go?
Are you serious with that question?
I am. I'd love to know.
It went well. I think we're going to have a deal.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces?
Oh, Zelensky said. Wow, did you hear Zelensky? Good job. A real question. Uh-oh.
On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if you're...
Whoa! First of all, that kind of sounds a little mean. Now, that's my buddy. That's my pal, okay? That's my pal. So let's be a little bit nice when we refer to him, okay? We call him Big Dog P over here, okay? Putin's my boy, all right? How does Trump respond to this? It's a good question.
There's U.S. interest there?
Or is he just going to do that? We're not going to discuss any of the specifics because...
Look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about. So we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect
okay, yes, no, okay.
those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian
They'll
forces,
be
European
the agreement
forces?
will protect them.
U.S.
Kill me! Ah! Bro, somebody's coming to kill me tonight. And the cop is like, well, what's wrong? It's like, oh, I don't know. What's going to protect me? It's like, it's illegal to kill you. Hello? You really think somebody could kill you when it's against the law? The law will protect you, my dude. Oh, the piece of paper. Oh.
The agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement. You know?
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression?
Watch this. He's going to say, they won't.
In those spots, what would
I
you do
just told
then?
you, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, well, if he thinks it's not going to happen, fuck me. That's good. I'm surprised Zelensky didn't sign the deal right here.
If that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, they ought to focus on CNN on survival.
There we go. Critical questions, the nicest, by the way. The arguably not even critical questions, maybe. They're just like ones that actually require, not even like shitting on him for how obviously stupid this deal is, but like kind of a critical Time to go in on you. Time to go in on CNN. Oh, CNN, you know what? I got some friends for you outside. They're called AP and Reuters. Go hang out with them because you're not invited in here anymore. Now we go in on CNN. Nice job. Good one.
Not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on CNN on survival. Not asking me these ridiculous questions.
Why you have confidence that Putin won't violate the deal?
Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings. I don't think they're going to survive.
Who's the simp fuck in the room that's laughing so loudly at that joke also, by the way? Do we know? Is there a white? I'm curious. Is it one of the other Nazi journalists, the OAN people, or is it fucking one of the losers on the couch? Or also, I like how he says shitty question right after Zelensky said, oh, finally a good question. Oh, was it Marjorie's husband? Nice.
Survival. Not asking me these ridiculous questions.
Why you have confidence that Putin won't violate the deal?
Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings. I don't think.
Look at that fat. He can't even stand and laugh. He can't even stand and laugh at the same time without dying. Listen to him. I'm sorry.
You have confidence that Putin won't violate the deal.
Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings. I don't think they're going to survive.
People will ask why you have confidence Putin won't violate the deal.
I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good.
Yeah, like Trump earlier saying, like, well, I don't know, what can we do? What can we do?
And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
He's going to say, my message is going to be, I don't. I don't do that.
I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way.
What? I thought we negotiated from positions of strength. I thought you could be mean or crazy to anybody. So, okay. So Trump has constructed this paradigm where the only people he can be mean to are the people that we're supposed to be allied with. So you can be mean to Denmark, you can be mean to Europe, you can be mean to the UK, we can be mean to Mexico, we can be mean to Canada, we can be mean to Ukraine, obviously, but we can't be mean to Putin. So why? Is he the one with all the power here? We don't have any leverage. We don't have any position that we can negotiate from a strong point. That's your negotiating tactic, is to just endlessly suck off Putin and see what happens? Like, you can go join the Ukrainian army. Dr. Vree, I would probably never join the Ukrainian army. I would want to stay in the United States so that I can make myself available for the Canadian or Mexican army first. And then I'm going to find you.
I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world.
Oh, he's aligned with the world. Oh, the protector of the realm. I understand. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough that you're never going to get it.
What is he fucking saying? He hasn't answered a single question with anything of substance whatsoever.
Be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough, but you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked.
Oh, thank God. Thank you, Jay, for cutting in here to talk about Biden some more. That's exactly what I want to hear. Yes, more about Biden. Yes.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace.
What was happening for like 8 years before that?
And the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions.
What are the actions going to be? What are our actions? All we have are words. Trump is a man of only empty words. Like, what are the actions?
What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea.
In 2014, is he going to say it?
So he occupied it on 2014.
True. The war did not start with the big army invasion. The occupation happened after Yanukovych was ousted from the country.
So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was...
Oh, you were president for 4 years and you didn't do jack shit. He's not going to say that.
Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now the President
Trump again.
Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
Why would you ever, why would you even, you don't know anything about this. Just shut the fuck up, little bro. Why are you even talking at the adult table right now? This is what I was, in my worst version of myself, my biggest fear was looking like this in the Finkelstein conversation, that I would just say something completely incorrect and wrong. Why, bro? Why would you say this? What?
Then took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 is
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
yeah. Welcome to the conversation. Try to keep up. He said it wasn't just you. I don't know. Okay.
But, yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners.
Why did Zelensky say all of this? I don't think I understood what JD was saying before. I really don't understand how this blows up so bad. Wait, why is Zelensky saying all of it? Because there's a misunderstanding in American media, probably intentionally on the part of conservatives, that the war just started a few years ago. That prior to this, everything was basically, peaches and sunshine? But that now that Trump was in office, he's going to do something. But that's not the case. Ukraine has been let down over and over and over and over again. Ukraine has been let down by Obama, by President Trump, by President Biden, and now Trump is in again, and Zelensky's probably saying, like, listen, this has been going on for a long time. Is anybody going to do anything about it? This is him responding to Vance's point here that somehow it was just Biden for 4 years that failed Ukraine.
We signed the exchange of...
And he's also demonstrating, that we've signed ceasefires, we've signed these things in the past, and they haven't helped, right?
Killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but
just again, it's the difference between Zelensky is speaking of substance, of history, of whatever, and Vance is just politicking. It's just empty bullshit ass fucking words. Like, hey, here's the history. Here's all the presidential administrations where nothing's happened. Here's a specific peace agreement that we signed with a ceasefire that they didn't follow through on. What's going to change? We're going to change. We're going to do it. Well, what are you going to do? It. Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems.
What do you think Oh my God, he should be actually fucking... oh my God, he should get... Oh my God, it's such an unbelievably disgusting thing to say. they're being invaded by one of the largest superpowers on the planet. They've been fighting this war for 2 to 3 years, a war they were expected to lose in like 2 days, by the way. Also, conscription by definition is force, right? Like,
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever
be thanking him for trying to force you to surrender all your territories and then get bullied out of $500 billion guaranteed worth of resource extraction for a shitty fucking deal that doesn't even offer a security guarantee? What the fuck is the thanks for? Zelensky owes about as much thanks as the Afghanistan government owed to the United States after Trump unilaterally signed over Afghanistan to the Taliban. Like,
manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring it into this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
just say no. Own it, you fucking retard.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happened.
Oh, he's been on Twitter. Oh, he's been on Twitter. Why would he know more than this dipshit? Where's Zelensky been at? Shopping at what do they say? Shopping at fucking in New York or whatever. Or is it in London? Where it's like Zelensky and his wife are stealing the hundreds of billions of dollars to buy expensive clothes. Like, yeah, what would Zelensky know about anything? Vance has seen videos on X, bro. Come on.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
A propaganda tour? What do they need to propagandize? What are you talking about?
Tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? Bringing?
Oh, and then you end it with this bullshit. This is like a political conversation, right? Like, oh, so haven't you murdered 1 million children and raped 1 million women, and haven't you like killed your parents and your whole family, and haven't you burned villages to the ground? Hold on, excuse me. Do you acknowledge that you have made mistakes in the past or not? Like, that question at the end, what a bullshit way to summarize all the insane, unhinged Kremlin propaganda this dude just fucking vomited in front of the leader of Ukraine.
That you've had problems bringing people into your military?
we have problems?
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction?
No one has attacked you, snowflake fucks. No one is attacking you guys. You can't even get basic facts correct. Who's attacking you? You literally filled this entire room with sycophants. You're patting people on the balls for asking you the most easy softball questions. Trump, is it easy to wake up being so brave and so moral and so righteous every morning? Is that like difficult for you to carry that much virtue with you everywhere you go? Like,
of your country.
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us.
Let him finish his sentence, you buffoon fuck. This orangutan already fucked up in even knowing when Ukraine was originally invaded. Why would he even speak at all here? What the fuck?
What we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
To dictate that. Nice, good one. That was an intentional word. If there ever was an intentional word Trump spoke, it was that one.
We're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you don't.
I'm
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with
the
the lives
president
of
in war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think
gambling
about?
with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very
Hold on.
What do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War III. And what you
Hold on. I'm so sorry. I might be having a schizo moment. Hold on. Is there some fucking loser in the back here that's trying to start applause in like 4 seconds? Do you hear? Is there one guy back here who's trying to see if he can get people to clap? Or am I maybe it's just somebody moving? I'm hallucinating this. Hold on. Listen to this.
World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very...
You hear that? Am I going crazy? There's no way.
3. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very...
I'm going to just assume it was somebody who was just walking and those were shoes or something. Go to 100. Thank you.
Very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this entire...
Yep. I'm getting baited. They're doing this just for me. This press conference was held just for me. I think Vance knows who I am. He's just trying to get me banned on YouTube. That's what's going on right now. I gotta resist, okay? I have to resist. Okay, I gotta resist. I gotta resist. I can resist. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the...
And you made phone calls begging his administration to dig up dirt on a political rival. God, I wish Zelensky would just say this right now. Oh my God, he can't. Or who knows, like...
and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly.
Oh, I was just about to say, is he going to actually get to answer this question, or is Trump going to come in again? Oh my God. Are we serious right now? And this guy's ESL, English second language.
think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can he fit?
Wait a minute.
No. Zelensky, shut the fuck up. Trump has to repeat the same 3 talking points over again. You don't have the cards. Your country's in big trouble. People are dying, okay? You don't have the power.
A lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
Yeah, it just got 50. Did we say 350 before? I thought it was 300 before. Is it going to be 50 billion more every single time he brings the number up, or?
We gave you military equipment, and your men are brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have our military equipment, if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin.
Did they have? When was the first batch of U.S. military equipment even there?
3 days. This is something
Maybe
new
less.
in 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
To say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful.
Why did Trump just make this sound like a setup? Did you catch that? I'm glad we kept this going for so long so the American people could see the real you. Why? That sounded so much like a setup.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying.
The cards.
You're
People are
running
dying.
low
Oh, there
on
we go. We got them all. We got it. You're losing. People are dying. You don't have the cards. There we go.
Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But
But
you're
I
saying
said,
you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
it doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks?
He's not going to answer this. He's just going to say they won't because it's a ceasefire. Oh.
To them. I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if...
Like, what do you, like... Imagine, again, this is where I'm saying, this is why, like, I stress this too, like, Trump isn't even a good businessman, and he's not, right? Like, imagine this in a business conversation, like, okay, so I've noticed in this contract we're signing, the provisions that we've all outlined, there's this part here where you could actually just, like, withdraw all of our money from our bank account and then end the deal unilaterally, right? Like, shouldn't we put a protection here so you can't steal all of our money? Like, what do you mean? It's like, well, like, what if you did this? Oh, what if anything? Oh my God. Oh, what if anything happened? Oh, who cares? Just sign the deal and we'll work it out afterwards, okay? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean, what if anything? That's the what ifs are the point of the contract.
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But you didn't do fuck all in your 4 years except try to extort Zelensky for made-up Oppo research on your political opponent's son.
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they...
Putin went through a lot with me? Oh my God. Putin must have told him this while they were 69. No, I'm just kidding. They would never 69. Trump would just be on his knees the whole time. There's no... Putin must have told him this. Like, oh yeah, I suffered with you as well during Russiagate, right? Or did I miss something? Did somebody else say something publicly to this effect? And that's where he's copying this new talking point from? That me and Putin both suffered through Russiagate? Where the fuck did this come from? I've never heard this talking point until today.
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony...
Oh my God.
That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff.
Oh, Hillary too? Now we're bringing up Hillary Clinton and Shifty Adam Schiff. Oh, okay. How far back are we going to go here? Also, just remember, because it's conservatives who are always like, why do you guys still bring up January 6th? Why do you guys still bring up these... Why do you guys still bring up... Come on, guys. Like, let's get over it. And meanwhile, Trump talking about Hillary Clinton?
It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't...
What did Putin have to go through with that? What the fuck are you even talking about?
End up in a war. And he went through it. He went through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff.
This was, like, why?
All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest.
You haven't even signed anything yet. What is he? It's just... Okay.
That's not a nice thing. All right. I think we've seen enough. What do you think?
What's this negotiation going to look like?
This is going to be great television. I will say that.
Oh, back to my original point that it's all for fucking memes and jokes and it's all just a fucking...
We'll see what we can do about
putting it out. Thank you, press. Everybody, Caitlin, everybody out. Can you still negotiate?
Apparently Zelensky got kicked out of the White House after that meeting. He sent this out right after it ended. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Oh, so we've just given up? Good deal. What a great deal maker. This was published an hour and a half ago. State Department terminates U.S. support of Ukraine energy grid restoration. The USAID initiative had invested hundreds of millions of dollars in helping Ukraine's energy grid recover from attacks on Russia. The State Department this week terminated a U.S. Agency for International Development initiative that... Oh, this is not related at all. And everybody liking this in chat is fucking retarded. This is not related to this. Okay. How do conservatives feel about this? Conservatives will follow Daddy Trump to the ends of the fucking earth. He can do nothing that they could ever view as being wrong. Like Trump can literally do no wrong whatsoever. Thank you, POTUS, for standing up for America in a way that no president has ever had the courage to do before. Thank you for putting America first. America is with you. Is there a reality where the U.S. government is completely transparent with their foreign interests so people can understand what they hope to accomplish with the countries they choose to align with? No, when you're talking foreign interest and you're talking military action and shit, politicians always have to play kind of two games, like securing the interests of the country while speaking to the interests of the people. That's always just like a double speak thing that countries' leadership has to do, basically. I need you guys to hold me accountable on this as well. Please do not ever let me say a nice thing about Cenk again until he totally walks back from this insane fucking comment. Here's an honest take no one is going to be happy with. 1. Zelensky started the debate in the Oval Office by challenging what Vance said. 2. Trump and Vance belittling our ally publicly takes away critical leverage we need to negotiate peace. Huge win for Russia. 3. Europe says this is an existential threat for them. Then they should act like it and fund this war, or help to get to peace in a more productive way. 4. Both Biden and Trump have mangled this and accidentally encouraged more Russian aggression. Oh, also, quick announcement. Even though these conversations are cancer-inducing, and even though our president and our vice president and everybody around him are horrible, disgusting, wormfuck people who are traitors to Europe, Ukraine, and this country, and our history, and our Constitution, if you make death threats or you type things that look like death threats on Reddit, your account can get banned. Don't do it. Just as a heads up, because people are getting sniped by admins in my subreddit, so be careful.